But here's a little simple chart of the Biden crime family. And these are the 4 countries while he was vice president that he took bribes from. In Iraq, Joe Biden was appointed as the point man for Iraq. He was supposed to negotiate for a status of forces agreement so that we could protect the people of Iraq. He failed to get it, but his brother got a 1/3 interest in a $1.5 billion housing development project in Iraq. And his brother was a lifetime sleazy lobbyist, knew nothing about housing. So that's the first one. When he gets appointed as the point man for Ukraine, his son is just getting thrown out of the Navy for being a crack addict, which he is, and he's a lifetime degenerate crack addict, due mostly to his father. If you want to blame somebody for that, you blame Joe for putting his son in a lifetime of crime. He could have found some bum in Washington to collect this money. He did not have to use his drug-addicted son, but that's what he chose. His son gets hired for a position for which he has no experience. He's really disqualified by virtue of being a proven drug addict. He had a bankruptcy in his past, and they put him into the biggest and crookedest oil and gas company, Burisma, in Ukraine. But there's a reason for it. The reason for it is the man, Mykola Zlochevsky, ran away. He ran away with $5 billion, and he wanted to come back and claim his business. The only way he could do that is to make a deal with the president of Ukraine, Poroshenko, a very good friend of Joe Biden's and a massive crook. So Joe became the go-between. That's why Hunter Biden was paid a total of $14 million in order to do nothing.
So he got the board money, he got the payments monthly, but there were additional consulting payments.
There were additional laundered payments that now amount really, depending on how you attribute money, between 10 and 14 million.
And those and that info comes from Ukrainian sources, or
all comes from Ukrainian sources, and about 4 million of it is laundered. It goes from Ukraine to Latvia to Cyprus. They make believe it's a loan. They then send it to them, and they forgive the loan. Typical.
Well, you figured that out last year, though.
Oh, this did not require the hard drives. I gave this evidence to the Department of Justice in January of this year, and they have not interviewed a single witness, and there are 6 of them over there ready to be interviewed, and they're ready to show them the documents.
What is but we got get to China. I don't want to skip China.
Well, China's the big one. China involves all 3 of his bag men, and China involves 2 deals. The one is the one I mentioned before. He takes his son to China. He fails to negotiate the Chinese out of the islands they dispute with Japan, and his son gets a $1 billion commitment to the private equity fund that included Whitey Bulger's nephew, and then he gets an additional $500 million for a total of $1.5 billion, all received while Joe Biden was our vice president, supposedly negotiated in a disinterested manner. I mean, don't you think the American people have a right to know that the man negotiating against our biggest adversary, that his son has gotten $1.5 billion for a make-believe, silly, stupid private equity fund? How Obama could hide that from us has to amount to something.
So the Biden defenders say, look, they kind of admit tacitly that these business operations were taking place. They deny that Biden got money. Other than the text where they say, where Hunter is saying, I'm doing this for the family, I'm tired of doing all this work for the family, and it's clearly Biden's the big guy, all that. Do you have evidence, or what is the evidence that shows that he was getting money directly or indirectly from these various deals and transactions you're talking about?
There is evidence of that, but that really isn't necessary. You can be bribed. I mean, I can say, yeah, I'll let you out of prison. Let's say I'm the prosecutor. I'll let you out of prison, but just give my son $1 million. You don't have to be the recipient of the money to commit bribery. You can say, give it to my daughter, give it to my best friend. That constitutes a bribe. But did he get money? Yes. First of all, there's the one I mentioned where he says to his daughter, he got one half of everything I got right off the top.
Right.
Went into a special account for him. Hunter says that. And then there's the memo that we discovered. It was hidden. There's a contract, 50% for the Bidens, 50% for the Chinese communists. That's going to be $10 million a year, not pennies, $1 million up front. And then there's a hidden agreement. The hidden agreement lists at the bottom one additional person getting money. It says 10% to H for the big guy. So we went back into the hard drive. We produced two other documents where Hunter refers to his father as the big guy. And now Mr. Bobulinski has testified and is willing to has given a sworn statement to the FBI, I should add, saying that he was called the big guy and everybody knew Joe was getting money. Joe discussed it with him. So, I mean, that's pretty much a closed case. I mean, I could get an indictment based on that. There's enough evidence to get an indictment. You've got documentary evidence. You prove who the big guy is. He's getting 10%, like two internal documents that are contemporary. You've got Bobulinski who testifies to it. I suspect by the time you finish, the two other outside guys, Gillers and I've forgotten the other guy's name, Wilson or something.
Archer.
Kevin Archer's going to crack.
Yeah.
Kevin Archer, there's a text in there from Kevin Archer to Hunter saying, why do I have to take the rap for the whole family? He's very bitter. He's very angry. He feels he's the only one that went to jail. And he's going back to jail. You know, he got convicted. And then a judge with political connections to them, you know, it's hard to believe, reversed the conviction. And the Second Circuit reversed the judge.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all the latest news from Judicial Watch.